WNYathletics.com would.
Let's go! Let's go!
WNYathletics.com would like to thank today's sponsors. Howard Hanna Real Estate Services. Ready to sell your home? Visit howardhanna.com today. Howard Hanna. Home happens here. Western New York Immediate Care. With 4 convenient locations in the Buffalo area. Amherst, Buffalo, Depew, Lancaster, and Orchard Park. Western New York Immediate Care is now offering telemedicine services to provide you care anytime, anywhere. Visit WNY Immediate Care on-site or virtually at WNYimmediatecare.com. Logistics Plus Buffalo is your go-to resource for all your transportation needs. LP moves freight of all shapes and sizes all across the world. Call LP Buffalo today at 716-877-9653 or email buffalo@logisticsplus.com. Ad Pro Sports. Ad Pro is the largest team sports dealers and brand merchandise providers in the nation. For a variety of custom merchandise solutions, from apparel to promotional items, visit adprosports.com. Empire Electric. For all your home, business, or office electrical needs, call Empire Electric at 716-634-0330. Free estimates and financing available for all customers. Empire Electric. Call 716-634-0330.
Let's go! Come on! Let's go! Come on! Come on! Let's go! Need it done! Let's go! Let's go! Let's go, baby! Come on!
And we welcome you inside Sweet Home High School, as today it is homecoming day between the Sweet Home Panthers and the Williamsville East Flames. Saturday afternoon action on Western New York Athletics. Along with Tim Rozek, I'm Joe Kraus, and we are experiencing some audio difficulties. But Tim, a big day today on homecoming between the Flames and the host Panthers.
No question, Joe. It's a pleasure to be back in the booth with you on a great Saturday afternoon. The fans are in full swing, and we're ready to almost get this thing kicked off.
Williamsville East calling into today's contest undefeated with a 3-0 record, while Sweet Home trying to bounce back from a 49-27 loss against Orchard Park. It was pretty competitive through the first 3 quarters of play before the Quakers pulled away, but we talked with head coach Jeremy Zimmer. He said a big player to keep an eye on, Tim, is that senior halfback, Jordan Theodore, the heart and soul of this team.
Yeah, Jordan Theodore, in my opinion, probably one of the top 3 Conley Cup candidates for the season. He's already surpassed his total rushing yards from last year in just 3 games. And, you know, you mentioned Sweet Home's loss last week to Orchard Park. That first 3 quarters, they were down 14-13 after 3, and after that, unfortunately, a big fourth quarter was the difference in that one.
So we're just getting ready for the start of the opening coin toss, as we're experiencing some issues with our headsets. Our officiating crew today, Dan Colpoise, our referee, the umpire, James Wilson, linesman, Alan Bett, line judge is Ferris Marone, and the back judge is Kevin Ryan. So we're just getting a couple moments away. Joe Krause, Tim Rozak, Tim Gardner with you. And Tim, your big keys to the game for this one.
Well, for Sweet Home, today's homecoming. They've got the crowd in full swing. Everybody's amped up. You got to use that energy. Homecoming is a special day, especially for all the seniors. It's going to be a day to remember, hopefully, for Sweet Home. So take advantage of the crowd. Get the ground game going. Jordan Theodore, we mentioned, probably one of the top players, and undoubtedly one of the top players in Western New York. He has just been a monster on the ground. They need to get him going early. And how about you, Joe? Will East, what are your keys for Will East?
Well, Williamsville East has that top duo, the quarterback, Sean Sansone, and his senior classmate on the outside, Dorian Faison, who's really brought the heat for the Flames the past couple of weeks. He had a big-time game last week against North Tonawanda, a 3-touchdown performance, and he is leading the team, 12 catches, 198 yards, 8 total touchdowns for the Flames, and the team leader on the defensive side of the ball, 36 tackles and tied for the lead in sacks. So I've talked with Coach Mike Turillo the past couple of weeks, and he said that is an interesting battle. Speaking of the head coaches, as we mentioned, Mike Turillo, the head coach of the Williamsville East Flames, his counterpart today, Jeremy Zimmers, 4th year coaching the Panthers, 25th year overall here at Sweet Home, and both of those men knew the late John Fowler very well. Both were a part of his staffs over many seasons with Coach Fowler, and obviously it's homecoming today for Sweet Home, so a lot of prayers and thoughts out to Coach Fowler today. This is the opening kickoff for Sweet Home as the young man is brought down at the 27-yard line. So that is where Sweet Home will start in this one.
And a nice tackle right away for Will East by Reed Sioka.
And the Sweet Home offense will take to the field. As we mentioned, Jordan Theodore in the backfield, a 5'8", 170-pound senior, and the sophomore quarterback, Rocco Panapinto. Those two finding some chemistry as well. And we'll get to the offensive line in just a moment. We 1st and 10 on the 30-yard line. The first snap on the Saturday matinee Week 4 action on Western New York Athletics. Panapinto with the snap, the handoff right up the middle, and Theodore right away crosses the 40, gets to the 45-yard line, a gain of 15 on his first carry today, right away answering the call from that senior leadership.
And Joe, we talked about the ground game for Sweet Home, and that ground game starts with the big men up front. They've got probably one of the biggest lines in Western New York, the Sweet Home, and right away you could see they are pounding the line and dominating that line of scrimmage on the first play.
So the Panthers 1st and 10 on their own 45-yard line. Panapinto in the shotgun. Another handoff to Theodore. This time he is brought down at the line of scrimmage. The first tackle on the way from Charles Smith, number 10 today. The Flames running a 4-4 defense, bringing that pressure. It'll be about a 2-yard loss, 2nd and 12 coming up on the 43.
Yeah, and they're actually bringing some extra bodies up on the line to counteract that size differential. You mentioned Charles Smith on the tackle there. He's one of the leaders on this team with 31 tackles and 2 sacks.
2nd and 12. Panapinto takes the snap. Drops back to pass, fires, pass is bobbled, and then caught by the Panthers. Keeping the chains moving. Looks like Jared Harris on the reception all the way to the East 45-yard line, and another first down on this drive.
Check that. That's Cameron Melander, the captain, senior captain, with the catch there. Number 6.
Good pickup either way, up to the 46-yard line for Sweet Home. Williamsville East looking for the first drive.
Quick update for you. Bennett up 34-7 on Orchard Park, and that's in the second quarter.
3rd down play, getting to the outside. Theodore get past the 35, brought down around the 33. The chains continue as Jared Harris is wearing number 6 today. Cameron Melander wearing number 7 for Sweet Home. The chains continuing to move all the way to the East 33-yard line. Another big run for Jordan Theodore.
And thank you for the correction on that, Joe. How about this Theodore already, though, taking the pill and making it work for Sweet Home.
3 first downs on this opening drive. Panapinto takes the snap, a quick pitch on the right side to Theodore. Gets by a couple defenders and then brought down by a pair of Flames. And leading that on the stop, Calvin Kulik, number 9 for the Flames today. Mike Torello with that defensive mindset that he carried over from Sweet Home. One of the top defenses so far. Really a big charge for why Willies is 3-0 entering today.
Yeah, they haven't given up more than 2 touchdowns in a game in their first 3, so you're right about that. The defense has been solid. They're going to need them to be solid here.
2nd and 8 at the 31. Panapinto steps back, going on the right side, passes up, it is incomplete. Looking for his receiver, Stephen Butler, on the play. Some tight coverage on the right side of the field. So 3rd down coming up, 3rd and 8 for Sweet Home.
I like the play call. Let it air out. You know, you've been able to execute the ground game at will right now and get Panapinto in the game right now. He's 24 or 50 on the season, so right around 50% completion percentage, 444 yards passing, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception coming into today.
3rd and 7 coming up. Early stages of the first quarter, 8:58 left. Panapinto on the left side. Pass is complete. The man still on the move. Irvin Myrie making his way inside the 20, still on his feet, and brought down inside the 20-yard line. The last stop by Kenny Stinson. 4 first downs on this opening drive.
Yeah, Corey Kerr, he had him and then just couldn't bring him down, and as a result, that's the conversion of the first down, and that could be a huge factor. That would have, if he makes that tackle there, Joe, that's 3rd and about, a few yards and possibly a turnover on downs. And right now, Sweet Home in the red zone.
Myrie, the senior, with the reception, moving the chains. 1st and 10 on the East 19-yard line. Sweet Home knocking on the door. Panapinto in the shotgun. Now the handoff up to Theodore again, about 4 or 5 yards up to the 15. And then brought down by Orsini on the play, number 21 for Williamsville East, up to the 15-yard line. 2nd and 6 coming up.
And just the little bit of action we've watched so far, I'm going to be hard-pressed to find another team in Class A that A2 that can compete, or all of A. Maybe Jamestown with size, but their line surpasses pretty much most AA schools. So right away, the line being a major difference so far in this drive.
About a 4.5-minute drive to start this ball game for Sweet Home in front of their home crowd on homecoming. Motion man on the sweep, the handoff, getting to the outside. Myrie on the carry. It's up close to the 10-yard line and then brought down by the Flames' Drew Eckert, number 16 today. So 3rd and short coming up for Sweet Home.
Yep, Reed Sioka also on the assist there.
So 3rd and short coming up. The handoff right to Theodore. Still on his feet, gets to the outside, crosses the goal line into the end zone for the touchdown. Jordan Theodore from 10 yards out, putting Sweet Home out in front.
And Jordan Theodore putting Western New York on notice. Week 1, Joe, 5 touchdowns. And here early, with 6:47 left to go in the first, hits pay dirt.
10-yard score for Jordan Theodore, the senior halfback for Sweet Home, keeping a strong season going. Extra point attempt on line. The kick is up and just makes it through. So Sweet Home leads Williamsville East 7-0 with 6:59 left to play in the first quarter. This is Section 6 football at Western New York Athletics. Sweet Home responding first in front of a big crowd.
Yeah, the crowd is here, and Joe, we got bounce houses, we have kettle corn, food trucks. This is football here in Western New York. Perfect day. A couple big games on tap this afternoon.
Drive. 5-minute and 1 second drive to this one. 6:59 left in the first quarter. A booming kick from Zach McGowan. And it will go into the end zone for a touchback. And the Williamsville East Flames offense with that firepower. Doyen facing a 6'2", 200-pound senior on the outside. And wide receiver trying to get things going and trying to respond here, Tim.
Yeah, he does it all. And, you look at Faison and Theodore. And what's impressive about both running backs is they catch the ball and they're the leaders on defense. That's what I love to see, and those are the two really stars of the game. Of course, Sansone has been turning heads, especially last year, and this year starting to really pick things up. But right now it's Faison and company.
Sean Sansone under center. Flames wearing their red helmets and white jerseys, the red numerals as well. Sansone, 9 touchdowns, 3 picks on the season. Here's the snap. Going airborne in the first play. Looking for Faison, just a little too far on the play. And on the coverage for Sweet Home today, Tim, Jabron Harper, 5'9", 160-pound senior. Those two with the speed going back and forth on the first play.
Yeah, and I don't know if you took a look at that, if we could even catch a replay, but that pass right there was about a 50-yard bullet, and you could see the arm strength is apparent for Sean Sansone. Just missed his receiver, overthrew him by a yard or two, but I love the arm strength right away and going to the air. Interesting move.
Second out at 10. Willie starting this drive on their own 20 after the touchback from McGowan. Handoff up the middle. The halfback in a couple of yards. Tommy Orsini on the carry. He's also had a solid start to this season. Tim Orsini going into today, 40 carries, 313 yards, about averaging just under 8 yards a carry and 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 of the team's 6 rushing scores. And he gets his first carry, so third down coming up, and we'll call it about the 27-yard line.
Yeah, you talk about 2 different backs. You got Orsini and you got Faison, who can, Faison also split the carries a little bit in the first game, but it's been more Orsini the last couple games.
Third and 7 at 23. Sansone looks on the right side. The pass is deflected. Tight coverage on the outside by Stephen Butler. And it'll be a 3 and out to start this one for the Flames.
Yeah, Stephen Butler showing great athleticism, and let's not diminish the ability he had to stay on that quick pass. And you could see that young man looks like he could be primed for good things ahead. Just a junior. Caught a 75-yard touchdown this year, did Stephen Butler.
And before the punt, a timeout called by Sweet Home. So we'll step aside as well. 6:05 left in the first quarter. Sweet Home leading on homecoming at 7-0 on Western York Athletics.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
He can't hear me and I can't,
6:05 left in the first quarter. Sweet Home leading Williamsville East 7-0. We thank you all for joining us on this Saturday afternoon. Brandon Shield is ready to punt for the Flames. Wearing number 3 today for Williamsville East, and 2 men back for Sweet Home. Butler, number 3, and Brandon Whitehead, number 5. High punt in the air from Shield. Takes a couple bounces off the Sweet Home man, but the up man was right there waiting for the call, and Williamsville East has recovered. Big special teams play. Give credit to Connor Stroyevsky with the recovery.
Yeah, Stroyevsky, what a play, and it started with that bobbled punt return, and that special teams showing its face early. We know that in order to win a close game like this, all 3 phases have to be intact, and right at first mistake of the game comes by Sweet Home.
So the Flames getting a second chance with 5:50 left in the first quarter. 1st and 10 on the 48-yard line. So about just a few seconds differential between our scoreboard and the scoreboard up top. And a penalty called against Sweet Home. So 1st and 5 coming up at the 43-yard line.
Got about 63 degrees at the start of kickoff today. 8-mile-an-hour winds out of the southwest, and you can see the wind's really not a factor, and it's a great sign for Sean Sansone and him being able to execute his arsenal in the air.
Sansone in the shotgun. And off Orsini, going on the right side, gets to 35, still in bounds, and all the way to the Sweet Home 30. Tommy Orsini, the junior, with a big carry.
Yeah, the junior, the big carry for a big man, 6'2", 185. That's a big running back, and definitely when he gets his speed behind him, you could see that's going to be a tough man to tackle this afternoon.
About 11-yard pickup for Orsini, 1st and 10, the Sweet Home 32-yard line. Sansone with the hard count. Now gets the snap, the handoff right to Orsini. Going through a bunch of defenders, and he is balled up by that Sweet Home defense. Give credit to John Jones, over 54 on the first stop.
So Williamsville East trying to execute their ground game, and, you know, it's interesting how Sansone, he struggled his first game of the season against Will South, even though they beat Will South. He was I think like 5 of 14 passing, but since then he's been lights out, and right now they're choosing to go with more of a ground attack, but wouldn't be surprised to see him air it out here.
No gain on that last carry. 2nd and 10 at the Sweet Home 32. The pitch outside to Orsini. He has some daylight, getting close to the 25 and knocked out of bounds by the linebacker. So 3rd and short coming up for the Flames.
Sweet Home's defense standing tall so far, and you know they had dealt a blow with that fumble off the punt, and awfully tough to have that defense come out twice, you know, in a row. But right now, holding fort, 3rd down and about 6 yards. It looks like.
So looking at
3rd and 4, brother.
Yes, 3rd and 4 coming up at the Sweet Home 26-yard line. Under 4 minutes to play in the first quarter. Sweet Home leading 7-0. Flames trying to respond. Sansone takes a stab, looks over the middle, pass caught to face it. He is into the end zone for the touchdown. Struck again for Williamsville East.
You'll see this on the replay here. We had an amazing, no replay today, but facing with an amazing catch there and a great strike by Sansone.
26-yard hookup, the extra point on coming up from Brandon Dorian facing the senior, his 7th touchdown catch of the season, the 10th touchdown pass for Sansone as well. The kick on the way, and it is good. And we are tied at 7 with 3:44 left in the first quarter. Sweet Home taking on Williamsville East in Class A2 action. What a great response for Williamsville East, Tim, after that point.
Great way to capitalize on the turnover, and, you know, they mixed it up. They ran the ball, and then they relied on the arm of Faison to deliver a beautiful strike. And so far, arm of Sansone, rather. Sansone looking extremely sharp right on that pass, and his arm strength is definitely on notice for Western New York.
Well, we talked with Coach Trillo earlier this season, and he said that Dorian Faison and Sean Sansone have really built a great relationship, and he compared it to the bond that Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs currently have with the Buffalo Bills. He said that's the type of friendship that you two have to really create, and it's really worked, as we just saw, to tie this score up at 7. Sansone to Faison, 26 yards out, 3:43 left. Shield with the kick. Sweet Home on the return. The man catches it around the 20-yard line, goes to the left side, making the return. Billy Cavendish still on his feet and brought down close to the 45-yard line. So good field position once again for Sweet Home.
And that looked like Sam Stratton on the tackle for Will East. Yeah, back to that point, though, about Faison and Sansone. You know, it was interesting, that first game you called, Joe, Faison carried the ball, about split carries with Orsini, and since that time he's been more or less the main target as a receiver, and now 7 touchdowns on the season. He also has 2 rushing touchdowns, averaging about 12 yards a carry on the ground when he runs the ball. So no doubt about it, a threat both ways.
Too many men in the huddle penalty called against Sweet Home. So 5 yards back to start this drive for the Panthers. So 1st and 15 coming up at the 37-yard line. Pitch outside. Sweet Home moving the chains, the whole pile, all the way to the 45-yard line. Another carry for Jordan Theodore.
Yeah, Sweet Home really stacking the line of scrimmage there and providing that extra push, and Theodore doing the work. Theodore coming into today averaging a whopping 9.4 yards a carry, 57 carries, 538 yards coming into today, and that's going to be a key, is bringing that average down right there. Nice stop, though, for Will East.
Under 3 minutes of play in the opening quarter. Second down at the 45-yard line of the Panthers. Counter run by Sweet Home. Crossing at midfield, keeping the chains going. Clock continuing this again.
Really like the misdirection, play action that they're running. It almost reminds me of like the Navy-style offense right now, what they're doing, and creating some opportunity, catching possibly Will East off guard, and just grinding away on the ground right now is Sweet Home.
Call this 3rd and 1 coming up for Sweet Home. Right at midfield. Andre Payne at center today for Sweet Home. He gets the handoff to Theodore. The chains are moving. It'll be enough for a Sweet Home first down. A quick look at the offensive line for Jeremy Zimmer today. Going left to right. Rabatoy, 6'4", 270-pound senior. Vito Dinkins, a 5'10", 284-pound sophomore. Andre Payne, we mentioned, he's listed 6'4", 369-pound sophomore. Herman Wooten at right guard, 6'1", 287-pound senior. And Aiden Janda, 5'10", 240-pound junior. Keeping the chains going. 1st and 10 at the Williamsville East 46-yard line. About 90 seconds left in the opening quarter. Theodore on the carry, goes to the right side, gets that block, still on his feet around the 40, and then brought down from behind by Will East. Jason Chow keeping the chains going. Another first down play coming up. Correction, it'll be a 7-yard gain up to the 39-yard line.
Faison almost broke it there, and Drew Eckert for Will East did a nice job fighting off his block. The receiver was putting a nice block on him. He fought it off and was able to disrupt Theodore from hitting another touchdown there.
Panapinto on the shotgun. Short second out play. The handoff once again. Theodore in the carry as a Sweet Home teammate felt the effect of that hit from Will East.
Yeah, well,
a flag on the field.
It almost looked like Theodore ran into Jared Harris as, Theodore had full steam ahead, and see with the flag face mask there against Will East. So the chains will move again. Joe, you mentioned that line, and I don't know if you caught the sizes on that. Joe was going over that starting lineup, but the other thing that stands out to me, beyond the size of the mass of humanity there, you have 3 underclassmen. So here's an opportunity for this team to really build on this big line, and next year should have a continuity at least with the running game.
Andre Payne is a sophomore like his quarterback, Rocco Panapinto. The snap to Jordan Theodore, and he is balled up right at the line of scrimmage. Reed Siaka with the first touch for Williamsville East, and we've said his name a couple times so far today.
Yeah, no doubt. And Rocco Panapinto, just a sophomore as well, so he's grooming himself for the future, and great things ahead for Sweet Home. Panapinto doing a nice job so far this year, and mentioned earlier, 6 touchdowns to just 1 interception, so protecting the ball well is what is
This concludes our Sweet Home Williamsville East 9-7. What else could you expect from a high-quality Class A2 action? We'll be back after this short break on Western New York Athletics.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Welcome back. Early stages of the second quarter. A flag before the snap as we had some music going off. Party of the USA. We're having a party right here at Sweet Home High School. Homecoming day for the Sweet Home Panthers, and also believe it's alumni night as well. Some
Joe,
music before.
Oh, excuse me. Go ahead.
A penalty was called against Sweet Home, so 5 yards back.
Can't talk about a bigger game in A2. This is a stacked conference. McKinley sits up top at 4-0, 2-0 in the league. Sweet Home and Will East, both second and third respectively in the league, and you also have West Seneca West as a powerhouse always.
Second and 15. Panapinto on the run, getting pressured and brought down from behind the line of scrimmage. Great pressure coming from Calvin Kulik, number 9 today.
Yeah, Panapinto, though, doing a nice job holding on to the ball. That's one of those plays where oftentimes you'll see him kind of lose control of the ball, and once again protecting the ball well and living to see another down.
So after the sack from Kulik, Sweet Home faces 3rd and 18 on the Flames' 38-yard line. Tied at 7, early stages of the second quarter. Panapinto with an empty house. The snap. Getting pressured again, and the ball is up in the air, and a flag is called. Pressure again from that D-line. Faison and Kulik teaming up.
Yeah, that's an intentional grounding, so loss of down as well on that one. And just as we were saying, Panapinto doing a nice job holding on to the ball. He definitely had his work cut out for him there, but, you know, maybe that was the best move. Perhaps he would have fumbled if he didn't do it, but I'm sure the coach wouldn't agree with that. He'd like to see him hold on to the one. Going into this game, Williamsville East is 3-0 with wins over Will South 35-15. They beat Hamburg 27-8, and then last week 47-14 over NT. Sweet Home 2-1, big win first week, 41-28 over Ken West. They beat NT 49-15, and then last week losing to OP 49-27.
Going on the punt, stopping at the Flames' 32-yard line. And Williamsville East will return. A quick note from that victory against North Tonawanda last week, Tim, for Williamsville East against North Tonawanda. Sean Sansom, this is an outstanding stat line. 7 of 8 passing, 171 yards, 6 touchdown passes, including on each of the Flames' first 4 drives to build a 27-0 lead at the end of the first quarter. And then the reserves came in as 47-6 at halftime. That is an unreal stat. Coach Trillo was just as shocked when he told us last week of how the offense, he's never seen that before. 7 of 8 and 6 touchdown passes.
Truly amazing, and you could see he is red hot coming into today.
The pitch outside to Orsini as daylight along the far sideline. Crosses midfield and brought down past midfield. Will give credit to Steve Butler on the first stop for Sweet Home. Another big-time gain, over 20 yards on the play. First down coming up.
Yeah, both teams now being able to execute their offenses. I don't know about you, Joe, but this is the type of game that looks to be down to the wire. I can see this being a back-and-forth contest, and right now living up to the hype for sure.
21-yard pickup for Orsini. 6'2", 185-pound junior freight train coming out of Williamsville East High School. 1st and 10 at the 47-yard line of Sweet Home. Sansone in the shotgun. Taking the snap. Stepping back, brought down from behind. That is a big sack for Kim Williams. for Sweet Home.
Yeah, Williams, nice job coming off that right edge, looking like Von Miller or Cornelius Bennett.
Yes.
Whatever one you want to choose. But certainly showing a little speed around that corner, and that's going to keep Sansone in check for the time being.
6-yard loss on the sack for Williams, pinning the Flames back on their own side of the field. 16 on the Flames' 47-yard line. Sansone, pitch outside to Orsini again, and it is wrapped around after about a yard or so. Sweet Home reading that play this time.
Yeah, that was Jared Harris there on the nice stop. And that's a difficult tackle. Those open field tackles, not the easiest tackle to make, and definitely held Orsini in check with that one.
Only held to 2 yards on that carry. So 3rd and 14 coming up for the Flames on their own 49-yard line. Sweet Home running a 4-3 defense. Tied at 7. Sansone takes the snap. Rolls out to his right. Sansone on the run looking for the deep ball. Here's Face on the run. He makes the catch inside the 20-yard line. The senior firing up the crowd. Another big first down.
You know, it's a little thing, but I love the way Sansone really, tried to get the play fake to the running back. He did a, nice fake there. Set up a play action, in my opinion, and just a beautiful strike to face him.
All the way to the Sweet Home 17-yard line. About a 35-yard hookup. Those two with that chemistry. Trips on the left. Pitch outside to Orsini. Orsini on the run. That's a couple yards close to the 10-yard line. And then able to make that stop once again for the Panthers. It is Butler.
Yeah, and Sansone took one on the chin there. Calvin Kulik coming in strong and delivering that beautiful pitch, and they're working the option very well so far.
Sweet Home has called a timeout. 1 remaining in the 10th.
You talked about that being an Allen, a Diggs kind of feeling that the coach has described this connection as, and it's certainly showing itself right now.
2nd and 4 at the Sweet Home 17-yard line. And off Faison in the backfield this time. Getting about a yard or so, and they quickly brought down by Vito Dinkins on the D-line today for Sweet Home. Talking with Coach Trullo, he said, I don't really know what his best position is when we're talking about doing facing. He catches the ball, he can run the ball, he can make the tackles, get after the quarterback. He is a jack of all trades today for Williamsville East and the past couple seasons as well.
Well, you look at what happened in that game one where Sansone struggled with his completion percentage and Faison ran the ball a little more. They still were able to get the win, but since that game, Faison has been pretty much all wide receiver, and I think that's the key. If it keeps working, keep going to it.
3rd down coming up, 3rd and 5 at the 12. Sansone rolling to his right on the run, putting the pass. It is incomplete, just a little bit short this time for Calvin Kulik. So 4th down coming up, 4th and 5 at the 12.
Yeah, it looked like Connor Strojewski was available, a little bit open, and that's one of those plays where Sansone can continue to grow and develop, but he looks really good rolling out, especially to the right there.
Offense staying on the field. Why not, considering the high rate so far this season for the Flames offensively? Sansone takes the snap, scans, looks to his right. The pass is intercepted in the end zone by Stephen Butler. Sansone denied for Faison as Butler in on the scoop.
Yeah, and Faison, you could see a little bit displeased with him not being able to fight that ball off a little better. It was a little bit more of a floating pass compared to what we've seen Sansone throw today, but great job defensively for Sweet Home and getting the ball back. And these are two teams, Joe, coming in, scoring. Offenses are bound. We got Sweet Home averaging about 40 a game. Williamsville East, 36 a game. So we know both these teams can put up points when needed, and so far this one's been a nail-biter.
Sweet Home offense returns. Panapinto takes the snap, hand off right to Theodore. Has the open room, crosses the 25, gets to about the 27-yard line. So a big 7-yard carry for Theodore.
And the captain for Sweet Home, Aiden Janda, the junior captain, a little slow getting up, but looks to be okay.
So 8-yard gain, 2nd and 2, coming up at the 28-yard line.
And Joe, you've covered a lot of high school football this year. Coming into this game, you know, and you had a great game last night. You could tell a lot of times before the matchup what you're going to get. This one's delivering so far.
2nd and 2, the pitch to the outside, finding the open tailback. Theodore still on his feet past the 40, and right on his tail for the Flames, the linebacker making the stop. It's about a gain of 13, but a flag called against Sweet Home. This will negate the big run by Theodore, as we have a mixture of crowd. We have some Sweet Home fans and some Williamsville East fans all held in one spot.
You could see both teams offensively with the running game executing similar type of styles with the pitch and then the wing formation. Our production maestro Tim Gardner was mentioning that they call it the Big Bird formation in Sweet Home when they go to the wing formation, and that was instituted during the John Fowler era. Of course, John Fowler, 2008 and 2009 state champion, head coach, and certainly missed here in the Amherst area.
2nd down at the 20. The pass to the outside, and it's incomplete through the hands of Brandon Whitehead. So 3rd and long coming up for Sweet Home.
Yeah, Whitehead with nobody around him. He definitely had some room, and it's probably one of those plays where he had the excitement going, maybe had his eyes going upfield ahead of time there, unfortunately. You look at Williamsville East, Joe, what they were the last few years, 5-20 the last 4 years. You mentioned, we were talking before the broadcast, they won their last game of the season last year to remove the goose egg, and this year it's been great things so far.
Panapinto takes a snap, getting pressured and brought down by a ragdoll. So pressure up front. Looks like Andrew Vinicourt, number 75, on the stop.
Yeah, and the lineman Andre Payne, the sophomore, kind of uncertain on what his situation was there. You could see he kind of shrugged the shoulders after that one. Remember Payne, the big 6'4", 369-pounder. And center, no less, Joe.
So Zach McGowan ready to punt. All the way back his own 8-yard line. He gets the punt off just in time. Might have been deflected by Faison as the ball keeps on rolling. So Will East with great position once again, starting on their own 46-yard line with just over 5 minutes left in the first half.
Impressed right now with the way Will East has been able to limit the production on the ground game for Sweet Home. I expected Sweet Home to be able to run the ball. They certainly have at times, but for the most part, Will East is really doing a great job keeping that running game at bay so far.
So the Flames on their last offensive drive, marching inside the red zone, but Stephen Butler of Sweet Home had other plans with this interception. And before we get the snap, another timeout called by Sweet Home, their 3rd and final timeout of the half.
And what a beautiful facility this is here in Sweet Home. They have the grass practice field across the way. And this field doubles with the soccer. Of course, all throughout Western New York, a lot of great turf fields have been implemented in place, especially with the weather, you know, being able to get these games and playing them on the best conditions possible.
While we have a minute, we'd like to give a quick shout out to our friend Mike Greenberg watching down in Fort Myers, Florida. Mike was a long-time official on the basketball court as well as on the soccer pitch for many years in Western New York for over 4 decades. Class of 1976 from Sweet Home High School. So, Mike, we thank you for watching down in Florida. I know there's some bad weather coming down in the next couple of days where you are, but hopefully we're safe and sound. And we thank you again for supporting Western New York Athletics like you have since we started a few years ago. So Williamsville East coming back onto the field with about 5:24 left in the first half. Flames first and 10 on their own 46-yard line. Sansone with Orsini in the backfield. Double wide receivers on each side. Sansone with the pass outside. The pass is complete along the sideline, getting his first action in a while. Connor Stroyevsky, he's been the number 2 wide receiver, we could say, for this Flames offense.
Yes, Stroyevsky coming into today with 4 catches for 94 yards and a touchdown. And Sansone had him in the right corner of the end zone there and missed him on that one, but makes a first connection, as you mentioned.
9-yard hookup, 2nd and 1 at the Panthers' 45-yard line. 9 up at 7. Now the snap, the handoff to the halfback Orsini. Got a yard if he was lucky, but that pressure once again by John Jones on the outside linebacker position. No gain on the play. So 3rd and 1 here. This is a big play coming up, Tim.
Yeah, Sweet Home right there bringing the heat, and that was sweet heat as they were able to maintain Orsini. And this is definitely a big play and what's been a back and forth kind of a defensive battle, surprisingly.
Clock continuing to wind down. Under 5 minutes left in the first half. 3rd and 1. The battle in the trenches. Sansone in shotgun. Quick pitch to Orsini on the left side, keeping the legs moving, getting a couple yards. It is up for a first down play, and the credit on the tackle, Tim Jones, number 53.
Yeah, Jared Harris also on, Jared Harris also on the assist, the captain. Sweet Home with all 3 linebackers back this year. That was one of the things Jeremy Zimmer really loved about the season coming in. Both teams returned 4 offensive and 4 defensive starters, so you could see a lot of new faces in the lineup, and both teams really off to a great start this season.
1st and 10, first set of downs at the Sweet Home 43-yard line. Sansone takes the snap, getting some pressure. Sansone on the run, now firing off his back foot. Firing on the sideline, the pass is incomplete. Looking for Stroyevsky along the sideline. Some tight coverage from Sweet Home. So incomplete pass. Willie's trying to go for that home run play on the fresh set of downs. 2nd down and 10 at the 43-yard line.
Quick update for you, Joe. St. Joe's up 14-7 against Canisius. That's 6 minutes roughly in the second quarter left. So Canisius getting down early in that one. That should be a great matchup. We know St. Joe's for years has been the beaten in that one, but looks like this year could be different.
2nd down pass play. Sansone on the run, firing to face it. He's inside, stays in bounds, and goes in for the touchdown. Dorian Faison, touchdown number 2 for the Flames.
Yeah, and you could see there are some Flames fans in the house, not just Sweet Home's fans, but the Williamsville East fans are here in large effect, getting rowdy as that one goes down. And Faison, what more can you say about that connection? I think you hit it on the head when you heard the comparison between Allen and Diggs, and these guys have chemistry. There's no question about that.
So far today, Dorian Faison has recorded his 7th and 8th touchdown catches of the season. And that nice chemistry. We always got a lot of looks from colleges around the area. Extra point is good for Brandon Shield. Faison, a multi-sport athlete, basketball. He participated in track last spring, and football, especially with the 2 scores today. With 3:06 left in the first half, the Flames leading Sweet Home 14-7. We thank you all for joining us on this afternoon. Joe Kraus, Tim Morozek, Tim Gardner, our producer, all in the great press box complex of Sweet Home High School. It is homecoming and also alumni night as well for Sweet Home High School, and a big crowd on hand. You can't a great weather day as well. Sunny skies, cloudy skies as well. for this one as we take a look at our temperature. Partly cloudy, a high of 64, so that crisp wind coming here in Western New York today.
Yeah, it's been cold at night, but right now, perfect weather. We're catching the best part of the day, no doubt, and the fans are being treated to a great contest, and Sweet Home finding themselves down in homecoming. We'll see if they can respond here.
Sweet Home, as we mentioned, trying to bounce back for a non-league contest against Orchard Park last weekend. As on the return, Billy Cavanis crossing the 40, so that's where Sweet Home will start. We mentioned Sweet Home 2-1 on the season, and as well, last season a very solid performance, 6-3 overall, 4-2 in Class A North play, which is their best season in many years, as we were told. The Panthers and Coach Zimmer will need to try to respond on this offensive drive, Tim.
Yeah, this is, I go back to the ground game, get Theodore going.
Counter run on the carry. Irvin Myrie having some daylight inside the 35. Hit from behind by Faison, but Irvin Myrie getting out of the action. A big first down run.
Yeah, Myrie, beautiful run. He's had 8 carries for 68 yards this year, and just doing a nice job on that one, and a nice misdirection, play action run that produces big time for Sweet Home there. And Myrie with a nice job holding on to the ball. Faison tried punching that out.
All the way to the Flames' 37-yard line. The option to the outside of Theodore, wrapped around the 30, still on his feet, but there are multiple flags on the field.
Yeah, it's raining yellow, and that one looks like it's coming back.
Would have been about another 10-yard run for Theodore, but this is coming back as our officiating crew tells the press box upstairs.
You mentioned Sweet Home's record last year under Jeremy Zimmer. They lost last year to Frontier in the playoffs, and Frontier, certainly a great season last year, making it all the way to, I believe it was Rich Stadium, or, well, the old Rich Stadium, Highmark now. I'm going way back when I say Rich Stadium.
Repeat first down at the Willys 40-yard line. Pass to the outside. Pass is complete to Whitehead, who makes his way to the Sweet Home 35-yard line. Big tackle coming this time on the tackle for Williamsville East. Corey Kerr, wearing number 20 today for the Flames.
Yeah, you can see Coach Zimmer trying to get Panapinto involved in the passing game as well, and we know that he's been able to throw quite a bit to Theodore's, and Theodore right now leads the team in receptions with 9 receptions, 113 yards coming in.
Second and 7 at 35. Panapinto on the move, rolling around. Got about a yard or so on the play, and then on the stop for Williamsville East. We'll give credit to Kulik. 1 yard gain, setting up about third, and we'll call it 6 at the 34.
You look at those first 2 plays of this drive here, or this series. 2 plays that were not involving Theodore.
Panapinto the snap, looks to the left side. It is a low pass hitting the turf, looking for an open Whitehead. The pass a little wobbly for Panapinto. So 4th and 6 coming up at the Willys 33-yard line. Interesting what Coach Zimmer will call.
Yeah, and it's interesting that they've been going away from their top player here in this series. Theodore, obviously the go-to guy, but not so much on this series. As a result, they're down to 4th down here.
4th and 6 at the East 33-yard line. Minute 17 left to play in the first half. Tied. Sweet Home trying to tie this one, trailing 14-7. Panapinto drops back the pass on the run. The short pass, it is caught to the open mid. Going inside the 5. The hook up to Akeem Williams.
Nice job by Panapinto, showing patience and delivering a ball to Irvin Myrie. Great job converting the 4th down there.
Another big hookup with Myrie. 1st and goal at the Willys 5-yard line. Just over a minute left in the first half. Sweet Home knocking on the door. Panapinto, the snap. to Theodore, right up the middle. He crosses the goal line into the end zone for the touchdown. Touchdown number 2 for the senior, Jordan Theodore, this time from 5 yards out.
So you look at both teams. You have Faison for Will East getting both scores, Theodore for Sweet Home getting both scores, and now for Theodore, that's 11 touchdowns rushing on the season. He's got 3 touchdowns receiving. I'd say it's safe to say Conley Cup finalist, in my opinion.
That's right. At halftime, we'll go over the Conley Cup winners from the past week, week 3. McGowan somehow gets the extra point. He was pressured by Siaka, but we are now tied at 14 with 1:05 left to play in the first half. What a first half here today, Tip.
Absolutely. That pass by Rocco Penapinto to Irvin Myrie, the key to that drive. They were down to 4th down, didn't look good, and Penapinto delivered that ball just enough, just got it to him, and Myrie with a nice job taking it in and giving them basically about 5 yards to go, and of course Theodore doing the rest.
And 2 made extra point attempts by McGowan for Sweet Home, continuing that trend between soccer and football. The kicker at Clarence, Zach Campana, as well, having a solid season with the Red Devils past couple seasons, and McGowan doing a solid job today for Sweet Home, wearing number 50, senior coming in at 6 foot as his height.
And Joe, just a great weekend of football. We've had some amazing matchups. Last night you did the Cathedral Prep at St. Francis. That game went down to the wire. Jamestown squeaking by a win against Will North. And today you had, on paper, Bennett and Orchard Park looked to be a great matchup. Turns out Bennett really laid the lumber on that one. And right here, we're in a tremendous game, and then you've got it down the road, Canisius and St. Joe's, and we'll try to get you another update on that when we can.
Yes, we'll go over that at the halftime break, and we had a big one. If you watched our broadcast, I was on the call with Todd Prince. St. Francis coming away with a 28-26 win over Cathedral Prep, their first win against the Ramblers in many years, so congratulations to Coach Jerry Smith. That one was a tight one. This one seems to be a tight one as well. Tied at 14. Minute 02 left in the first half. Flames back on offense. Sansone takes the snap. He is pressured. Scampers out to the left side. Has a man on his tail. Crosses the 25. Gets close to the 30. He's able to evade the pressure of John Jones, number 54 of Sweet Home. Getting that big gain going all the way to the 30-yard line.
And keep an eye again on Dorian Faison in this drive. He's single coverage right there. Stephen Butler was on him, and Stephen Butler has had his work cut out for him today, as would any cornerback in Western New York.
Only about a 7-yard gain for Sansone. 2nd and 3 coming up. Big crowd on hand, as we've mentioned. Sansone through the pressure, brought down from behind. Another sack for Akeem Williams. Make it number 2 for him.
Huge play as Sansone was looking to Faison. Faison had good coverage on him. Butler was right there on him. And as a result, not much time to deliver that. So just a nice job holding on to the ball while he was sacked. Turnovers, you do not want to turn it over right here.
8-yard loss on the sack from Williams. We mentioned his second of the day. So we're looking at 3rd and 11 coming up for the Flames. The clock winding down, the last 20 seconds of the half. Will East offense getting up to the line. Sansone under center. Tyler Lynn at center, taking the knee. And this will conclude our first half of play. What a contest. Sweet Home, Williamsville East, the Class A2 powerhouses tied at 14 here in Amherst, New York. We're going to step aside for our halftime break. You are watching Section 6 football on Western New York Athletics.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
If you've been injured in an auto accident, large or small, call 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine. If you are in pain or just sore, don't take chances. Call RES today and take advantage of their 24 to 48-hour appointment pledge. With no copays, RES will help navigate the confusing world of no-fault insurance with you, so you can concentrate on getting better. 681-4088. RES Physical Medicine and Rehab. The most important call you can make after an auto accident.
300 Level Media is a locally owned and operated multi-purpose media company right here in Western New York. You'll find us everywhere, covering the Bills, Sabres, Buttes, Bisons, Big Four basketball, local college sports, and much more. Our staff offers a variety of media services, from video production, live event coverage, audio broadcasts, professional voiceovers, camera operation, and videography. Visit www.300levelmedia.com or give us a call at 716-427-2600. This is 300 Level Media.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
You're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA, with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. Get started today at howardhanna.com.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Nice work, Sweet Home and Williamsville East cheerleaders. Today's a special day, not only homecoming, Sweet Home has inducted 4 new individuals to the Hall of Fame. We have 2 of them here this afternoon. We're going to ask them to walk out to the 20-yard line. First up, a member of the class of 2000, Mr. J.J. Gibson. J.J. participating.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
I love being home. Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care, and we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
When it's time to sell your home, start with a visit to howardhanna.com, ranked the #1 real estate site for sellers. A few clicks will show you the sales price you can expect for your home. We can get you the most money in the quickest amount of time because we know where the local buyers are and how to reach them. So if it's time to sell your home, visit howardhanna.com today, and we'll match you with a local Howard Hanna agent to sell your home fast.
Being home. Life can be full of surprises, but not always the good kind. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care, and we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Thank you, girls soccer, for attending today at homecoming.
Western New York Immediate Care's new locations are now open. Whether you've suffered a minor injury or just aren't feeling well, Western New York Immediate Care provides safe, quick, high-quality care at an affordable cost. Our clinicians are trained to diagnose and treat non-life-threatening injuries and illnesses and are equipped with on-site x-ray and labs to help you feel better, faster. With 4 convenient locations open 7 days a week, Western New York Immediate Care is here to help when and where you need us. Visit us online to learn more.
Do You insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
Logistics Plus is a global transportation provider headquartered in Erie, PA with locations worldwide, including right here in Western New York. Logistics Plus is consistently recognized as a fast-growing transportation and logistics company, great supply chain partner, top freight broker, leading project cargo manager, and a great place to work. With a strong passion for excellence, our 500-plus employees put the plus in logistics. Call our Buffalo office today for an efficient, personal approach for all of your transportation needs.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
I love being home.
Welcome back for second half coverage of Williamsville East and Sweet Home. We are tied at 14 apiece. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us for our broadcast on the Saturday matinee. Along with Tim Rozek, Andrew Kraus, Tim Gardner is our producer today. Big thanks to Russ Battaglia, as well as our cameraman running our crew. I believe Mario Hall is with us as well. Second half action a couple minutes away, but first our first half highlights for you. We'll go through the scoring. Jordan Theodore had a 10-yard touchdown run to put the Sweet Home Panthers on the board. The opening drive of the game, 6:59 left in the first quarter. The Flames responded. Sean Sansone to Dorian Faison a 26-yard strike to tie our score at 7 with 3:43 left in the first quarter. The dynamic duo responded again with 3:08 left in the second quarter. A 43-yard touchdown catch. That one was a big bomb with 3:08 left in the second quarter. 14-7 Will East, and then Jordan Theodore, what a dynamic runner for Sweet Home. This time a 5-yard touchdown run, a drive that you point out was set up by the big play Rocco Panapino to Irvin Myrie to get Sweet Home to the 5-yard line. Theodore punches it in, and we stand here at 14-14. So, Tim, I ask your thoughts on the first half and really out of the locker room if you're Coach Zimmer, Coach Trillo, two guys that know each other very well. They coached each other side by side with Coach John Fowler for many years, the late Coach Fowler. What do you think the message is at halftime coming back?
Well, I think if you're Williamsville East, I'd say you're in good position. You're going to get the ball to start the second half. You were able to create that turnover on the punt. That's the only turnover of the game. I think both coaches are, making sure to lay the law down on turnovers. There's been no turnovers on any offensive plays, but as far as the special teams turnover, that's really the difference in this game. But I think turnovers are going to be the one thing that both teams are going to impress on their kids. But as far as Sweet Home goes, they have to contain Faison. They have not had an answer for him. I do believe that you're going to start seeing the safety kind of creep over there. He did on the last drive, and that pressure getting to Sansone, not giving him the time to throw as much is going to be critical. And for Will East, continue to manage, not necessarily win that line of scrimmage battle when they're on defense, but they've been able to manage that battle. They haven't given up huge plays. It looked, especially on that first series, like Sweet Home might run up their alley all day long, but they've been able to do a fairly decent job containing Theodore. We'll see how that goes in the second half.
And besides that big pass play from, besides Strawn Sanso has been slinging this all day today for Williamsville East, player number 5, the senior quarterback. And besides the one play down at the right end zone, the interception, I believe, was on 4th down and short, Stephen Butler. Besides that, Will East has had Sweet Home's number in terms of the passing game.
They sure have. And Sansone, you could see he is just playing some great ball. You mentioned the amazing statistic last week, 7 of 8 with 6 touchdowns. I mean, not only is that tremendous completion percentages, but you got 6 of your 7 passes. I think that would have maybe got him in faces in the crowd of the Sports Illustrated for those kind of numbers.
Yes, absolutely. And talking with Mike Turillo this past week, he said that stat line, 7 of 8, 171 yards, 6 touchdown passes. He said, I've been around some really good teams, but I'd never seen anything like that. And this is a guy that has coached for close to 35 years in Western New York football. Speaking of Western New York football, we have 2 minutes left in the halftime break. The Connolly Cup winners for the 50th anniversary season. Great work done each year by those on the Connolly Cup Memorial team, putting together the winners once again for week 3, and some notable ones. We're going to start with Mike Doctor of Canisius, his big game last week for the Crusaders, and right now Canisius is trailing at halftime against St. Joe's 14-13, and we'll get to other scores in just a sec, but a couple other big winners. Dalton Jaibu had a big game for Pioneer against West Seneca East. Dalton Harper for Maryville, Micah Harry for Lancaster, who you saw the Legends face Hutch Tech this past Thursday. And also Ricardo Kidd from St. Francis. The Franny's a big win against Cathedral Prep last night. So game stats for you. Sweet Home currently 4 of 7 passing for 61 yards, 21 yards rushing, 86 yards total for Sweet Home. And then the other side for Williamsville East, 3 of 8 passing, 86 yards through the air, 51 yards rushing. The overall total, Sweet Home 147, Williamsville East 137. Thank you, Tim Gardner, for the first half stats. And Tim, any out-of-town updates from you?
Sure. We've got Bennett. Last we knew, it was 40-7 at the half against Orchard Park. Now, that game started at 1 o'clock, so they're more or less probably nearing the end of that contest. But Bennett winning big time right now and most likely going to come away with a win, and that's a double-A action. Going back to those stats, though, when you see Sweet Home rushing 20 times for roughly 86 yards, that my short math tells me that's about a 4-yard a carry average. And we knew Theodore coming into today was averaging close to 10 yards a carry. So talk about minimizing the damage with Theodore. And if Williamsville East can continue to do that, that's going to be huge.
Again, as we mentioned, Sweet Home 147 yards overall in this first half. Williamsville East 137. As you're taking a look, Sweet Home in the huddle with Coach Zimmer. The guys getting ready to go. And Tim, you've been around high school sports for many years. Just the excitement, especially on a big day today, like homecoming, the alumni ceremony that we had here at halftime. Does that just raise the intensity if you're on the field getting ready for these types of games?
No question. And, as I'm coming into the booth today, I'm walking alongside the Will East players, and we're walking through what is probably one of the more festive atmospheres. I mean, you've got an alley, and then, of course, we had Western New York Athletics doing the pregame show, the college game day experience, high school game day experience, I should say. So you had a lot of activities going on, and there's no doubt you're amped up already. But when you see the crowds in these kinds of capacities, knowing that it's homecoming weekend, absolutely, you just get more and more hyped up.
Still great weather, partly cloudy skies, a high of 64, and we're going to have to redo this kick. A penalty against Sweet Home, offsides penalty. So Sweet Home, take 2, as we call it in show business, here in the second half.
Joe, real quick, you were mentioning Conley Cup. This is a kid, he's in 9th grade. We know his brother Trey Kleitz last year for Iroquois, but last night, he's got what I imagine, I did some research on it, the highest completion percentage for any quarterbacks in Section 6 for Iroquois, just a freshman. last night he was 19 of 22, 288 yards passing, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions. On the year, 12 touchdowns, no interceptions, just a 9th grader. Keep an eye on Justice Kleitz for Iroquois.
And here we go. The big cymbals from the pep band at Sweet Home to cap it off. Second half action. Dorian facing on the return, cross to the 45. Stiff arms in it, still going all the way to Sweet Home 40, still on his feet, and knocked down at the 38-yard line of Sweet Home. That's the guy you want to return if you are Williamsville East to start this half.
You know you're a bad man when you can stiff arm 2 guys in one play. That reminds me of Bo Jackson style running right there. And you mentioned it earlier, not knowing where to put Faison, but last year Faison led the team in reception or yardage with over 700 yards, and you could see he's getting close to that mark and just the halfway point of the season, and right away giving his team great field position.
Once again, the team leader in all those categories as well. In 2022, he has been an outstanding playmaker for the Flames, as we have said all afternoon. So the officials make sure that we are all set. We're all set up in the press box. First and 10 at 38. Sandstone fires on the right sideline. Has the open man, almost having the one-handed catch for Williamsville East. Calvin Kulik just out of the right hand, incomplete.
Yeah, Kulik almost making a circus-style catch. And, similar to Sandstone's first pass in the first quarter, coming out a little bit hot, a little bit overthrowing, and I'm sure he'll settle that down. You look at Sandstone last year, team was 1-8, yet Sandstone had great numbers, 173 of 291, 2,169 yards, 26 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions last year. Tremendous season in what was a major losing campaign.
11 touchdowns, 4 picks this season so far. Orsini on the carry, getting bottled up. The other today, Tim, Sean Sandstone, 426 yards passing. I imagine he's well over that mark today. Even the chains moving, though, Orsini on the ground. It's about a 2-yard gain. So 3rd and 8 at the 35 coming up for Williamsville East.
And that was a nice job by the bigs up front for Sweet Home. Tim Jones and company making the tackle and minimizing the gain.
Williamsville East in good territory after the big return from Dorian Faison. The snap. Sandstone, he's pressured, trying to roll to his right, and he does. Scrambles outside, the pass incomplete, a little low for Stroyevsky. So 4th down coming up at the 35-yard line. Brandon Shield, is a big option for the Flames. He's had a couple big kicks so far this season.
Yeah, and that was great pressure by Sweet Home right there. They came flying. Sandstone did a nice job just to not get sacked and rolling out. That was a tough throw to make, so I'm not going to put too much criticism on for that pass, but Sweet Home with great pressure and nice defense these last few plays.
Flames offense electing to stay. 4th and 8 on the 35-yard line. Opening drive of the second half, tied at 14. Sandstone looking down the right side to Faison. The pass is caught into the end zone for the touchdown. Faison jogging in for a 35-yard touchdown. Touchdown number 3.
Yeah, you could see Butler and Faison were tangled up there. They were fighting each other, and Faison you mentioned how he could play any sport. Not just the athleticism, but the strength that he shows. I have to think that several Division I colleges would be put on notice what he's doing this year.
Another strike. Brandon Shield lining up for the extra point. Kick is up. It is good. So the Flames apply a little more heat to start the second half. The big return and the touchdown catch for Faison. Flames leading 21-14, 10:52 left in the third quarter.
Joe, that's got to be a killer. Sweet Home doing a nice job on defense prior to that last play. They had it down to 4th down, and they obviously didn't start the game in great field position where they were already in their zone. So that's a crusher right there, and a lot of game left, but you're at homecoming. This is where you got to have your homecoming fans rally around, and Sweet Home no doubt has the weapons to get back in this one, but for Will East, that's the way to start the second half.
Facing now with 9 receiving touchdowns, 11 on the season. He had 2 rushing touchdowns in week 1 against Williamsville South, as Tim mentioned earlier. And Coach Trillo mentioned that was because Sean Sansfield, the quarterback, was a little shaken up during the offseason, needed some time to get back, and now they've just been rolling. Well, outstanding once again.
Yeah, excuse me. That would explain why he was 5 of 14 in that game with just 76 yards and 3 interceptions in that week 1 contest. What a difference it's been since then.
Loose ball on the field on Cavaniss' return. It is another recovery by Williamsville East. Saying one of our line judges.
We talked about turnovers. We didn't talk about special teams as keys to the second half, but right now that's 3 special teams plays that Will East has been able to capitalize in. The last kickoff return that they had, this kickoff here that they recovered, and then in the first quarter. So they're winning that third element of the game, which is special teams and the turnover battle right now. Back in great field position.
2 fumble recoveries on special teams. Flames looking to extend their lead. Pitch to the outside. Orsini do his little dance, gay out to the 30 and knocked him out close to the 25. Another big run for Tommy Orsini.
What a compliment to facing when you can go with Tommy Orsini, who's swift and big, 6'2", 185, coming into today, averaging almost 8 yards a carry, 40 carries, 313 yards coming into today, and having a really nice day on the ground so far.
9-yard gain for Orsini. So bring up line judge staying 2nd and 1 on the 29-yard line. Snap on the left side. Pass is complete. Deuce Jemison with his first catch of the day inside the 25. Another first down for this Will East offense.
Yeah, we heard just a single fan yelling, "Come on, Sweet Home." They're going to need more of that fan rally right now as they're finding their backs to the wall. And this is a critical drive right now. If Sweet Home can stop them and limit the damage, they can keep themselves back in this game. But Williamsville East, we both know the offenses for both teams capable of putting up big points. Right now, the East offense executing at will.
Jemison, his 9th catch of the season, a big one. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line now for the Flames. Delayed handoff to Orsini. He is quickly brought down by the Panthers defense. Andrew Hogg, number 19 today on the D-line for Sweet Home. He gets the stop.
Yeah, the junior is a player that Coach Jeremy Zimmer highlighted as one of the up-and-coming kids on this team to make an impact, and Andrew Hogg with a nice stop right there. So you mentioned Joe in his 4th year, starting out in 2018, 0-8. That was the last time Williamsville East has beat Sweet Home. 2019, they were 4-4. COVID-shortened season, 3-2, and then last year 6-3. So it keeps going upward for Sweet Home.
And a familiar face. This is his 25th season overall with the program. 1-yard gain on the last play. 2nd and 9, and now a delay of game penalty call against the Flames. So this will march them back 5 yards back. 2nd and 14 coming up for Williamsville East. The ball is spied on the 28 of Sweet Home.
Not many of those mental mistake penalties today either, so that's a rare penalty on Will East here.
Snap. Sansone looking on the left side to Deuce Jemison into the end zone for the touchdown. Deuce Jemison with the big touchdown catch, 28 yards out, and the Flames are well in front.
Joseph Gonzalez right on Deuce all the way to the end, and Deuce just fought him off. It's been a lot of close plays with the receivers today for Will East, and they're really out-muscling the defensive backs right now, the last couple touchdowns. And Gonzalez definitely not happy with himself after that one. and he's one of the best players on this defense for Sweet Home. And again, Sansone looking strong, Joe.
Deuce Jemison entering today with just 8 catches on the season. He has 2 of them on the last drive. Deuce is loose, a 28-yard score, and Williamsville East leads Sweet Home 28-14 with 8:46 left in the third quarter.
Yeah, you go back to that first fumble off the kickoff in the first quarter. You know, if they do not fumble that kickoff, it could be a completely different game. That's the way these turnovers work in football. And you think about momentum was all with Sweet Home up until that point, and Williamsville East was able to capitalize off that turnover. They capitalized off this turnover. That's where you have your 2 touchdown difference.
Was the opening return by Dwayne Faison to start this off, leading that offensive drive. And then, as you mentioned, the second fumble recovery on special teams. That's just critical, as you've been saying, the third element of the game.
And coaches, every coach knows the importance of the special teams, and right now this has got to be driving Coach Zimmer mad.
Line drive kick from Shield. The return man, Xavier Butler, on the return.
The good news for the Panthers, plenty of time
Yes.
left in this one, and you're at home. You got to rally the troops right now, and for Sweet Home, get that ground game going with Theodore. Get the passing game going with Theodore. He's your best player. Get him the ball is what I would say.
8:41 left in the third quarter. Sweet Home returning on their own 37-yard line. One tailback in the backfield for Sweet Home. Pitch outside to Jordan Theodore. He cuts inside. Still on his feet. Brought down by a host of Flames around the 40-yard line. And Tim, I would say that if Sweet Home wants to try to get back into this ball game, they got to go through Jordan Theodore once again.
Yeah, it's interesting, though. They're pitching it to the outside. They've had some success, but they've got that big line. Utilize that big line right now. You know, they did that wing formation, had some success with it early. I'd say continue to go and utilize the bigs up the middle. I know they want to kind of balance it inside and out, but the inside game was working earlier.
2nd and 6 at the 41. The counter run on the carry. Myrie with a big run close to midfield, keeping the chains moving. It up for a Sweet Home first down.
And Myrie, he really has the wheels. He kind of looks like Isaiah McKenzie out there, the way he's showing the flashes of speed.
Should be an interesting one down in Miami for the Buffalo Bills this Sunday. A few injuries on the defensive front. 1st and 10 for the Sweet Home Panthers in their golden helmets and black jerseys, golden numerals. At midfield, Panapinto looking on the right side, pass up in the air, and it is caught. Oh, man, what a big-time catch from Billy Cavanis all the way to the East 25.
That was a huge pass by Panapinto and a great catch by Billy Cavanis. Wasn't sure if he was even interfered with. Wasn't sure if the referee was going to call an interference call on it. Didn't look like it. As a result, Cavanis, though, bringing it down, and that's exactly what Sweet Home needed, was a big response to being down, and could be a momentum changer.
Big one indeed. Gain of 26 on the catch. 1st and 10 for Sweet Home at the Will East 24-yard line. Sweet Home trailing by 2 touchdowns at the moment, but knocking on the door. 1st and 10 to 24. Panapinto, handoff to the halfback. Theodore to the outside, still on his feet and down at close to the 15, but a flag. Flag comes sailing in near the end of the play.
I've continued to be impressed by the defensive front of Will East. We know coming into today they didn't give up more than 2 touchdowns in any of their games for the first 3 games, and they're showing a lot of grit in being able to contain the running game, which has been just off the charts for Sweet Home coming into today. But Will East, the defense is really standing tall so far.
So a block in the back penalty called against Sweet Home. This will impact the carry by Theodore. Ball is spotted on the 27-yard line. So repeat first down at the 27-yard line. Panapinto in shotgun again. Looking a quick pitch to Theodore. He goes right up the middle, still on his feet, rolling his way around the 20-yard line. So another big gain up to the 21, a gain of 6 on the play. So 2nd and 4, maybe a long 5 here at the 21-yard line.
Just a reminder, that game with Canisius and St. Joe's at St. Joe's still at halftime. Joe's up 14-13. We'll try to keep you updated whenever there's a score or anything to report out of St. Joe's out in Kenmore.
Great complex in Marauders land. A great complex on hand here, too, at Sweet Home. Calling it 2nd and long 5 at the 21-yard line of the Flames for Sweet Home. Panapinto holding the pass. Finds the man over the middle. Going into the end zone for the touchdown. Big time touchdown for Zion Lee. His first catch of the day with 5:44 left in the third.
Well, Joe, that's why I'm up here and Jeremy Zimmer's down there. I thought go to Theodore. Panapinto, how about what he's showing there as a sophomore? Tremendous drive right there, capping off with that beautiful strike to Lee. Showing a lot of confidence in his quarterback down, and the quarterback delivering. Just a sophomore. I love seeing these underclassmen perform under pressure, and Panapinto, nice job.
Extra point from McGowan is good. So just like that, we're back to a one-score game. Will East leading Sweet Home 28-21 with just under 6 minutes left in the third quarter.
And that's how you respond after being down by 2 scores at home with a quick response of your own. They're back in this game, and let's see if the defense of Sweet Home can contain Faison and company, because right now the Williamsville East offense has been almost unstoppable their last few drives. Of course, that last drive before the end of the half, they had somewhat limited field position. They elected to take a knee, but prior to that, their last several drives were very successful, and we know coming into today, both these teams put up big numbers. They're starting to show it now.
Just on our screen on our broadcast for Western New York Athletics, a big crowd on hand. We have the Williamsville East cheerleaders on our right, the Sweet Home Panther cheerleading squad on our left, a big crowd on hand, filling up the majority of the bleachers right underneath us.
And Joe, we might have to get you some kettle corn after this one if it's still available.
That's right. A lot of goodies as well. I smelled the barbecue coming in as well. Coming in today, and a touchback from McGowan. So Williamsville East strikes and returning to the field, trying to respond. Sweet Home, it seems that the tables have tilted back in favor of the Panthers, won't you say?
Yeah, it's certainly a momentum changer right there for Sweet Home, and it was a shot in the arm for sure. They needed some kind of response. They got it, and they got it from their quarterback, Panapinto. Really impressive with Rocco. Like we said, sophomore, 6'1", 160-pounder, comes in today with about a 50% completion percentage and throwing some nice strikes.
Pitch to the outside. Orsini knocked out of bounds at the 25-yard line. It looks like Butler on the stop for Sweet Home. He had the interception way back in the first half of action for Sweet Home. 2nd and 5 coming up at the East 25.
Yeah, it's been a game of highs and lows for Butler. He had the interception. He's had a few plays against Faison that didn't work out. And again, I would challenge any cornerback in Western New York to be able to cover this kid. So not going to put too much blame on Butler. He's had his hands full.
Faison with 3 touchdown catches. Deuce Jemison with the last touchdown catch for the Flames before Sweet Home responded. Speaking of Jemison, just out of his hands, the incomplete pass. 3rd and 5 coming up.
Huge third down here, because you got to figure if they don't convert or get much here, it could be punting, and Sweet Home returns, get the ball back potentially. Again, Sweet Home with the stops, just like that last drive where they had them down to 4th down, and you know, here's another chance for the Sweet Home defense to stand tall.
The snap. Quick pass to the right side. This is facing. This time, Sweet Home able to contain him. Only about a 2-yard catch. Short of the first down marker. We're going to call this 4th and 1 coming up on the 29-yard line.
And I'm going to think it's Orsini here. I'm thinking they're going for it on 4th down. Tom Orsini hasn't had a gain, I think, less than a yard or two all day, so it'll be interesting to see. But once again, I'm wrong. It looks like punt formation.
Brandon Shield ready to punt. Yes, 4th and 1 at 29, but plenty of time left in this contest. Under 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
That could be the gambler in me, Joe.
Shield with a high punt past midfield, a fair catch. It hit off a shoe of Sweet Home. Butler, Stephen Butler's shoe hit off the cleat, I beg your pardon. Nonetheless, could have been very deadly, but Sweet Home taking over at about the 42-yard line.
Another miscue, though, by the special teams, and the special teams got to continue to keep those sharp. And right now, whoever's in charge of the special teams unit for Sweet Home really needs to make sure the focus is on clean catching, because once again, that could have been ugly.
So Sweet Home takes over. Spotting on the last drive, Zion Lee, the 21-yard score. Now on the run, Irvin Myrie crossing midfield, sailing out of bounds inside the 45 of the Flames. Irvin Myrie, the quality senior.
And there was a great block right there by Stephen Butler. He really put a nice block on Drew Eckert along the edge and helping Myrie gain that extra real estate.
$15-yard carry for Irvin Myrie up to the East 43-yard line. Just over 4 minutes left, 4:29 left in the third quarter. One motion man. Now the snap. Hand off to Theodore up the middle. There he goes again. Still on his feet. The ball is loose, but it is a whistle waiting for the call.
Oh, they were quick to blow that whistle. They definitely, there was no indecisiveness there. He was definitely down, and that's the good call. But right now, man down for.
It does appear Tim Theodore is shaken up, so we will step aside 4:19 left in the third quarter.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
And welcome back to our broadcast. Joe Kraus, Tim Morozek with you on the call. Tim Gardner is our producer, making sure that you can all watch our broadcast of West New York Athletics. Jordan Theodore was shaken up on the last carry, a gain of 9. 2nd and 1 coming up at the 34. Theodore with a slight limp, but able to get off on his own willpower with his 2 feet.
I'd say by looking at his gait there, he looks fine to me, and I think he was kind of wiggling the ankle while he was down, so hopefully he'll be back in action soon.
Panapinto drops back the pass, fires it to the left corner, and the pass is incomplete. Just out of the reach, I believe, for Irvin Myrie.
Panapinto once again showing the arm strength. Big 3rd down here for Sweet Home. You have to figure this would be 4-down territory, so 2 options here, or 2 attempts.
Interesting what the Panthers will call. Jordan Theodore is back in the backfield. Just need a quick breather. Panapinto the snap. The handoff right to Theodore. Couple cuts still on his feet. It crosses the 25-yard line. A first down for Sweet Home. I'm not a doctor, but I think Theodore's okay, Tim.
No doubt about it. Not just okay, but did you see the way he's eluding tacklers? And that's that shiftiness, that evasiveness. He's definitely a special runner, and he's been limited in terms of his yards per carry today, but no doubt making an impact in this game. And, you know, when he went down, there's some murmuring like that could be a backbreaker for the team. Great to see him coming back and looking 100%.
Ball spot at the 23-yard line of the Flames. First and 10 for Sweet Home, trailing by 7. Theodore on the carry, going up the middle, taking a trio of Flames with him. Past the 15, keeping the chains going. 9-yard gain once again. Spotted at, we'll say, the 13-yard line.
Yeah, it's always interesting to see a smaller back. He's just 5'8", 170 pounds, and he knows how to find his way through those big offensive linemen. He's shifty and getting it done right now on this drive.
Looks like the PA announcer agreed with me. It's 2nd and 1 at the 13-yard line. The snap. Hand off to Theodore. Going around the right side, he does at the 5, still inside, spinning his way into the end zone for the touchdown. Jordan Theodore with a 13-yard skipper, and Sweet Home potentially a play away from erasing this 2-score deficit.
Yeah, what a comeback for Sweet Home. It looked like momentum had shifted majorly after Williamsville East goes up by 14 here in the third quarter. And what a third quarter it's been. You talk about the first quarter, or first half, 14-14. Those teams have matched that output here just in the third quarter alone.
Zach McGowan ready for the extra point. Panapento the holder, kick on the way, and it is good. A dandy of a game today, Tim. Tied at 28, 2:40 left to play in just the third quarter, and Jordan Theodore making his third rushing touchdown of the afternoon.
Impressive. 12 on the season now. It's just crazy when you look at his numbers and you look at what he did last year. Theodore, last year he had 515 yards rushing, 5 touchdowns, 256 yards receiving, and 2 touchdowns. So just crushing his numbers. he already surpassed him last week, his totals from last year. But today, just putting on another display. I was really excited coming into today to see the talent on both of these teams, and both teams, the stars are not disappointing whatsoever.
Jordan Theodore now with 12 rushing touchdowns on the season. Interesting to see as we get down to the wire for the Connolly Cup. I know Cam Warburton down in Cheektowaga had another great game last night, and there are a bunch of other great rushing talents in Section 6 football, but 3 today so far for Theodore, and we have a touchback, a couple big bounces from McGowan, so Will East returns.
Joe, I get on a bit of a soapbox every year about this area and how it's under-recruited in terms of Division I schools, and there's no question there's several players on this field today that are Division I caliber, and you know, you look at a kid like Jalen Butera last year, or Conley Cup winner last year, having difficulty finding a Division I school, but I'm sure he's going to be doing great things. I believe it's in Mercyhurst is where he's at. And just this area, unfortunately, sometimes these kids get overlooked, but when you look at the representation in the NFL from Western New York, that speaks volumes in my opinion as well.
2:40 left in the third quarter. The snap, Sansone stepping up, firing to a sliding Stroyevsky. The pass is incomplete.
Sansone dealing with a lot of pressure right now. We mentioned that as one of the keys to the second half, and Sweet Home being able to put more pressure on Sansone. Don't give him the time to get comfortable and let that play develop. They've made a nice adjustment here in the last couple series.
Some other big contests as well. We mentioned Kenesha St. Joe's on our other channel, West York Athletics, covering that ball game on Kenmore, Lockport, Niagara Falls was on hand as well this afternoon. I believe it was another 2 p.m. kickoff time. A lot of great games so far today. The handoff, bottling up the pressure from Sweet Home. And we're going to give the credit firing up. Looks like number 7, Cole Camerata.
Yep, and John Jones once again as well. John Jones, one of those players that the coach was really excited about coming up from the JV ranks. 5'9", 200-pound John Jones. Looks like he might have even grown an inch or two.
Things are going down to the wire over in Kenmore, Tim. It's Canisius leading St. Joe's 19-14 late in the third quarter. So if you have two TVs, you're in for a good one. We got two big ones. This one tied at 28. Sansone with the snap, the pass high in the air. Here's Faison again. It's incomplete. Faison going one-on-one with the defensive back, Zion Lee. Big play for the Sweet Home defense.
Yeah, Zion Lee doing a tremendous job breaking it up. And usually you've seen Faison going to the outside, and there we had him up the middle. Looks like a flag on the play, though.
Looks like a penalty against Sweet Home.
So that's going to be a momentum killer right there for Sweet Home, who was really playing some great defense.
Looks like pass interference against Lee as the incomplete pass. Actually, I beg your pardon, roughing the passer.
You know, I was focused on Lee there, so appreciate our producer, Tim Gardner, pointing that out, roughing the passer there. That is a devastating penalty, though, in terms of continuing to give Will East an opportunity to put one in the end zone.
1st and 10 now after the penalty at the East 33-yard line. Under 2 minutes left in the third quarter. Orsini on the carry, getting a few yards, stopped about the 39-yard line.
But you could see that pressure coming, play in and play out from the D-line, and bringing up some of the linebackers at times are the Sweet Home Panthers. Their defense has really picked it up outside of that roughing the passer. They've had a great second half. And, of course, the first series of the game, of the start of the second half, they gave up that touchdown. But since then, they've been rock solid.
2nd and 5 at the East 38-yard line. Approaching the final minute of quarter number 3. Faison the motion man. Quick pitch to Faison. The senior going upfield, that north-south running once again, close to midfield. And a Will East first down all the way to the 49-yard line. Pickup of 10. Actually, they'll put it back to the 47. Pickup of 8, rather. It's still a first down for Will East.
And Hakeem Williams on the tackle, one of the top defenders for Sweet Home, transferred last year from Kenmore East. He's got 20 tackles on the season coming into today. So Hakeem Williams, you can see he's a physical player for Sweet Home.
Sansone ready for the snap. Looking on the right side, pass complete to Kulik. Still on his feet down the 45, knocked out of bounds around the Sweet Home 43-yard line. Joel Gonzalez with his first tackle today, number 14 for Sweet Home.
Kulik doing some great work with his feet to elude the tackler initially, and as a result, picking up another 4 to 5 yards and putting them in a manageable second down here with about 2 yards to go. So 13 seconds left here in the third. It's been a wild third, Joe.
Absolutely. Williamsville East had a big 28-14 lead with 8:46 left in the third quarter. The Panthers erased the 14-point deficit. And now an offside penalty called against Sweet Home, awarding Williamsville East 5 yards.
And that's going to move them with move the chains, rather. First down with that penalty.
Only 18 seconds left.
Again, this drive was able to continue based upon that roughing the passer penalty.
Again, these two teams know each other very well. The two coaches, Turillo and Zimmer. Former coaching assistants for the late Coach Fowler. The handoff. Orsini getting a couple yards. The clock continuing to wind down in this third quarter. 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7. coming up for Williamsville East. It's down to 3 seconds. They're heading back to the huddle, and this ends the third quarter of play. Don't go away. Grab your glass of Coca-Cola. We'll be right back for the fourth quarter action of Section 6 football on Western New York Athletics.
Sometimes it just isn't your day. We all need a little help from time to time. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care. And we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
Do you insure a lot of businesses?
Yes, we do.
How about restaurants?
We got a bunch.
Do you cover property damage?
Yes, we do.
How about my equipment?
Covered.
How about sewer backup?
We got it.
What if my cook gets hurt?
They're covered.
Foodborne illnesses?
Covered.
What if my party tent goes down?
Covered under property damage.
And you say this is all under one policy?
One policy.
When do I pay?
Once a month.
Just one time?
Just one.
Is there anything you don't cover?
What's your record for consecutive questions asked?
31.
Tables. We don't do tables.
Gotta love Buffalo.
For all your insurance questions, call the Wolf at 835-WOLF.
We realize now more than ever is the perfect time to have the perfect house. We're confident we'll find your dream home. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.
Start of the fourth quarter. We'd like to let you all know that later on, Western Athletics coverage of Section 6 football concludes. Down the southern tier, Olean visiting Falconer, Castanega Valley, Maple Grove, a 7 p.m. kickoff. And we're also, last check, late in the third quarter, Canisius and Joes. Second down and 7. Sweet Home 37. Sansone scrolling, still on the run. Still scampering and then brought down from behind. Jared Harris on the stop. Joe Kraus, Tim Rozek with you at Sweet Home High School today. Tim Gardner is our producer, and we've had a really, really good game here today.
No doubt about it. Like to thank also Russ Battaglia and Mario Hall on the camera work. And Joe, the last few times Sansone has scrambled, rolled out, Sweet Home's had the answer for him. They haven't given him much time whatsoever, and it making it difficult for him. You mentioned a couple games right now. If you got 2 televisions last night, I have to tell you, I was back and forth between your game and the Jamestown game. Right now, looks like Joe's is up 22-19. That's the latest update. We'll keep you posted if there's more to come.
3rd and 7 for the Flames at the Sweet Home 37. Sansone looks to his right. Quick pass, the open Kulik going inside the 15. Has the open lane into the end zone for the touchdown. Calvin Kulik going in for a 37-yard score, and the Flames punch right back.
Yeah, how about Calvin Kulik? He has really made his mark here on this drive and bringing it into the fourth quarter with an early score and an early fourth quarter lead now for Will East. It's been back and forth action. We said it might come down to the last minute of the game, and sure looks like both these teams are back at it. One answer after another right now. Kulik stealing the show.
Brandon Shield ready for the extra point. Mike Skeely, the holder. Extra point is good. Williamsville East leads Sweet Home 35-28, early stages of the fourth quarter of play. You know, we mentioned a couple times in our broadcast, Tim, that these two programs, especially with Coach Trillo moving on to Williamsville East, now in his 7th season, and Jeremy Zimmer, the assistant coach, these two teams know each other very, very well, it seems.
Yes, and Torillo, a Sweet Home grad. He'd love to take it to his alma mater, I'm sure, today. But right now, this is a back-and-forth game, and Kulik really impressed me. Not just that touchdown, but he had that play earlier where he gained about 14 yards, I believe it was, made some nifty footwork. And he's a player that came up from JV last year, 6'1", 170-pounder, and a player that Coach Mike Torillo circled as someone to watch coming up from the JV ranks. And you could see he's been impactful today.
And what a way to get your first career touchdown catch on the varsity level. Kelvin Kulik, 6'1", 170-pound junior with the big touchdown for now for the Flames. Another miscue, but able to scoop up by the Panthers. So they will start. Calvin Kulik with that touchdown. Again, his first of the season. What a way to get the first one.
No doubt. Joe, win or lose this game, Sweet Home, as a team, I can tell you this much, come Monday, they're going to be running gassers or laps, 20 extra laps around the field for these special team miscues. Once again, I mean, a fortunate pickup, but a fumble on that kick return. Something's going on. I'm not sure. It's not as though it's cold right now. I'm not quite certain what's going on with the hands team for Sweet Home.
Well, we have a moment we'd like to let you know that each and every week, our West York Athletics football magazine, our 4th issue just came out, and a big story. Canisius College used to have a football team, and a player that used to play, Sweet Home head coach Jeremy Zimmer. So another big storyline. You can catch up the big story from our man Kari Demos in the latest issued, number 4 of the football magazine here at West New York Athletics. A counter run to start this drive for Sweet Home. Billy Cavendish on the return. His first carry of the day, but a flag is on the field.
Yeah, and I'm not sure if it's holding against Sweet Home, it looks to be.
Big discussion.
Billy Cavendish, though, showing some jet fuel on that one. I mean, he really hit the speed burners. Definitely like what I'm seeing out of him.
After the penalty at Sweet Home. Still first down on their own 25-yard line. Motion man. Now Penapinto. The snap. Getting pressure. It is deflected. Face it with the big paw to prevent the big pass.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Facing along with Zayed El Nasser. Both those players in the face of Penapinto, and Penapinto nowhere to go with that one.
We mentioned face it 6'2", 200-pound senior. El Nasser, 6'1", 220 junior. Penapinto a little smaller, 6'1", 160-pound sophomore. And whoa, a big play from the Will East D-line.
Yeah, that's huge to start that series. You know, right now, Will East, the defense has had some troubles with Sweet Home the last few series, so we'll see if they can get a stop here.
2nd and 17 after the penalty on the 25-yard line. Theodore on the right hip. Penapinto with a quick pass. Swings to the outside to Lee. Gets a couple of yards past the 25. And then he is brought down by the Flames. It looks like Jason Chow, number 40, in on the stop.
Joe, I'm a little surprised Theodore, you know, he comes into the game with the leading receptions on the team. I don't know if they maybe threw one pass to him in the first half, if that. But they haven't really used him in the passing game. I realize he's definitely getting his bulk work at in the running game, but be interesting to utilize him also in the passing attack, open things up a little.
Here we go, 3rd and 14 at the Sweet Home 28-yard line. Under 10 minutes to play. Penapinto rolling, getting pressure, gets to the outside, going out of bounds at the 35. That's right, a flag on the play from our head official today.
It looked to me like Theodore may have been offsides on that play where he ran ahead. Oh, but they're going to call it on the defense. This is huge here. Wow, big play there.
Dan Cole plays our referee today, wearing the white hat. So after the penalty from the Flames, Sweet Home will continue this drive all the way to their own 42-yard line.
Theodore was wide out on that play. Looked like he jumped the gun a little. The referee didn't catch it. So Sweet Home with a break there.
So quick substitution. Williams coming back into the game for Sweet Home. Well, miscommunication.
Yeah, it looks like they're trying to call the attention of the field marker. Confusion indeed, Joe. As you can probably hear the fans yelling it's 4th down, and the field marker now changed to represent that. Huge 4th down here for Sweet Home to convert.
Fourth down, ball still on the 42. Still some communication. I'd like to let you know, Canisius and St. Joe's, 25-22 Canisius with 1 minute left in the third quarter.
So they've got Theodore in the backfield, Pinto out of the game. And what does not look like a punt formation.
It's either 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1, but the snap for Theodore going up the middle, getting some daylight close to midfield. It is a first down, 17-yard gain. Whether it's 3rd and 1 or 4th one, we still don't know, but a big run for Jordan Theodore. The clock winding down, just over 9 minutes to play.
Joe, I can't remember the running back's name for the Denver Broncos. He was probably the running back for the last couple of years, but he reminds me of Theodore. They have the hair flowing in the back, similar looking running backs as well. So Theodore, nice job converting there.
Counter run this time and going airborne a little bit. Getting the carry is Elias Day, number 10, getting his first call of the day from Coach Zimmer.
Yeah,
big run.
Elias Day, another player that was mentioned as a key up-and-comer off the JV ranks. Nice job there for Elias.
Big run from the junior. 1st and 10 at the Will East 40. 8:39 and ticking left in regulation. Panthers trail by 7 on homecoming. The handoff. Another big run. This time Jared Harris answering the call. Keeping the chains going, about a 6-yard gain. 2nd and 4 at the 33 of Williamsville East.
You have to credit Theodore. They know he's most likely going to get the ball, the defense, on a lot of these occasions, and he's still able to grind his way, getting 4, 5, 6 yards at a chunk when the defense is reading it.
Quick pitch. Theodore on the right side, going up to the 30, keeping the pile with him, and brought down the 27-yard line. Brought down by a host of Flames. Charles Smith, the junior linebacker, the first to stop.
It's really been a fascinating matchup today with that offensive line of Sweet Home and then the aggressive defense of Will East, and it's been a great battle so far today.
Big 4-yard carry for Theodore, fresh set of downs. 1st and 10 at the East 26-yard line. 35-28 East. Sweet Home. The counter run. Going along the left side on the return. It is Elias Day keeping the chains moving close to the 15. And brought down by the majority of the defense of the Flames. Looks like Mike Scioli playing free safety today, coming in for the stop.
You could see the backfield for Sweet Home is deep. They've got multiple guys that can get it done. And Elias Day showing he's also in that mix.
Day did not get the first down on the last carry, but we are going to have a measurement.
Tell you what he did carry was about 3 defenders on his back, and that was some great running. And I love when you continue to see the legs chopping wood and not giving up. I remember specifically Roger Craig was one of those players who always just kept those knees up high when he ran, and Elias Day doing the same thing there.
Chain gang coming onto the field. Again, we mentioned Canisius St. Joe's late in the third quarter. Crusaders leading 25-22. And then our coverage of Week 4 concluding tonight. Olean visiting Falconer, Casadega Valley, Maple Grove. That is 7 p.m. down in the southern tier. It was enough for a first down, for Elias Day. Ball is spotted, I believe, at the 21-yard line. So here is Sweet Home once again, Tim. Just over 7 minutes left.
And it's been a really nice drive they put together here.
Theodore with a pitch, trying to get to the outside on the right side and keeping it going. And then finally brought down by Reed Siaka, number 33 today. Continuing to wind down the clock over now officially a 4-minute drive for Sweet Home right now.
And Theodore keeping those legs going as well and getting a couple extra yards based on that hard work.
2nd and 6 coming up at the East 12-yard line. Sweet Home trailing by 7. Panapinto under center. It's the snap, the counter run, up the middle, going into the end zone for the touchdown. Elias Day on a sunny day for the Sweet Home Panthers.
How about Elias Day on that last drive? He was all over the offense, putting the ball into the end zone. Love the play fake by Rocco Panapinto. That play action, selling that fake to the handoff, kind of keeping the defense on their heels a little bit, and Elias Day finding daylight into the end zone. We're going to have a field day with no pun intended, but he is really impressed on that last drive. Kind of came out of nowhere, Joe. You know, it's been Theodore all day, and all of a sudden, Elias getting his opportunity in the backfield, making the most of it.
Elias Day, his first rushing score of the 2022 campaign, the extra point good, and we are tied at 35 with 6:09 left in the fourth quarter.
What a slug match it's been, and it's been an offense. It's been some defense as well. You know, it was interesting to see the second half really take shape with the offenses getting going. And that first half, you know, we saw a 14-14 game. You're thinking, okay, this is pretty much maybe what we'll see in the second half. But the offenses have come alive here in the second half, and what's been a tremendous game here at Sweet Home. And I'm sure John Fowler's looking down on this one with a big smile on his face and enjoying it upstairs.
Big time run. Congratulations to Elias Day. Getting, I believe, his first 3 carries of the afternoon on the last drive for Sweet Home. And the junior cashing in from 12 yards out. We are tied at 35. Week 4 action in Western New York Section 6 football. Turning into a battle for the ages so far. Reed Siaka on the carry. And he is stopped at around the 20-yard line. So let's just look at the clock very quickly. 6 minutes left in regulation. It's been nearly 5 minutes, Tim, since the Flames were on the offensive side of the ball. Do you imagine any sign of fatigue, potentially if in baseball, a rain delay, or maybe not at all?
Not at all, I don't believe. I mean, this is the fourth quarter. These guys should be basically with the adrenaline and the focus as sharp as ever, knowing that the game is on the line. It may come down to who possesses the ball last. It'll be interesting to see how this drive goes.
6 minutes exactly. The Flames, a lot of success through the air. Their star quarterback, Sean Sansone, 4 TD passes today. 3 to Dorian Faison, Deuce Jemison. The last try, Calvin Kulik as well. The quick pitch to Orsini. Gets outside. Brought down a couple of yards. Making 5 TD passes for Sean Sansone in his senior campaign. Again, 3 to Dorian. 1 to Deuce Jemison and Calvin Kulik on that last drive. Before this one, back at the 10:54 mark of the fourth quarter.
Great job there by Joseph Gonzalez and Stephen Butler containing the edge and limiting the gain.
Short gain on the carry from Orsini. So we're looking at 2nd and 7. The 23-yard line. Just over 5 minutes left. Orsini on Sansone's left side of the backfield. Sansone over the middle. The pass is just out of the reach of Kulik. Trying to respond like on that last drive, as we mentioned, just out of the reach. It'll bring up 3rd and 8 on the 23-yard line.
The Sweet Home defense, again, in the face of Sansone, getting through the line. Right now, this offensive line for Will East, it's real critical. These next couple plays, they're most likely looking like pass plays, I would say. Well, at least this next play, they may have to punt, but they got to give him a little bit of time. And right there, the Sweet Home defense, again, in Sansone's face.
3rd and 7 at the 23. 5:02 left to play. Both teams with all their timeouts. Sansone in the shotgun. The Sweet Home faithful is fired up. Sansone takes the snap, rolling to his left. Now fires over the middle. The pass is caught by Connor Stroyevsky, moving the chains for a first down. This is going to be spotted at the 31-yard line. A big 9-yard play, Tim.
And Joe, the line picked up some really nice blocking there. They had Jordan Theodore coming in off the edge on a blitz, and that was picked up, allowing Sansone just enough time to deliver that strike and convert the first.
Under 5 minutes to play. 1st and 10 at the 31. Snap. Pump fake. Looking for his man Kulik. And he makes the play. Still on his feet. And into the end zone for the touchdown. Calvin Kulik with the big time play. 69 yards through the air.
How about that? Calvin Kulik thinking about, first half, who's going to be the go-to guy. If you're a betting man, you're saying Faison all day, but smartly they've gone to Kulik knowing Faison's been dealing with a little more attention on the defenders, and that was just an amazing play there to get the ball off for one, and then Kulik bringing it down and once again getting past Stephen Butler, and Butler perfect coverage really. It just unfortunately he could not bring down Kulik.
Extra point is good. Sean Sansone tying his mark from last week. 6 touchdowns on the day. 2 for Calvin Kulik, his first and second of his junior campaign. 4:22 left to play in the 4th quarter. And you're watching Section 6 football at West New York Athletics. And boy, I think we've said every phrase in the book, right, Tim, of how this game can be described.
There's no question. We've been treated to a thriller, and these are the types of games that, you circle them on the calendar. There's no question coming into this weekend. There were a lot of great games on paper. This one's living up to the billing. And you mentioned it earlier just now. Sansone 2 weeks in a row with 6 touchdown passes. Those are crazy numbers, and you think about last year having the amount of touchdowns he had, 26 touchdowns, just 3 interceptions last year, and he had 3 interceptions his first game of the season this year, matching his last year's total. Hasn't thrown an interception since, so Sansone on fire right now. 15 touchdowns now on the season.
11-23, 289 yards in the air. Willies is a team with 339 as an offensive unit. And Sansone's 6 touchdown pass today. Tim just mentioned his 15th of the season. Sweet Home trying to respond. They still have some time after the return. And the tackle coming from number 23, Brady Turin on special teams. Still some time for the Sweet Home Panthers. 4:17 exactly.
Yeah, and that was the interesting thing to see how, if Will East did score, how long it would take. They scored quickly. Plenty of time here for Sweet Home, and this may be perfect for them to kill clock on this drive and be able to execute a tying or game-winning score. And the way it's going, Joe, I don't know, we've seen it. You watched a game last night where there was a 2-point conversion late. I don't know if we'd see that if it does happen, where they can get into the end zone here.
1st and 10 to 29. Counter run with Theodore. getting into the open green, still has feet at the 45, crosses midfield and shoved out of bounds by Kulik. A big-time run for Jordan Theodore, the man who has answered the call every single time today, all the way to the East 45-yard line. We'll call it a gain of 31.
You can see if Theodore gets a little bit of space, look out, because he can really get the speed going, and right there was a perfect example of that.
Actually, about a 26-yard gain for Theodore. Nonetheless, 1st and 10 on the the Flames' 45-yard line. Just over 4 minutes left in the 4th quarter. Handoff up the middle. Harris, but the ball is loose. It is recovered, though, by the Panthers. Looking to see who recovered.
Number 6, Harris, maybe, or maybe even Theodore.
Yes, it was
Harris.
Theodore.
Actually, they're tapping Harris's helmet, but hard to say. Number 20 for Will East was right there, Corey Kerr. I don't think he realized the ball was loose at the time, and fortunate bounce going Sweet Home's way there.
2nd and 3 at the East 38-yard line. Just over 3 minutes left. Sweet Home trying to respond once again. Theodore on the carry, through the traffic, spinning left, brought down at the 30-yard line.
That's Mike Scioli on the tackle. The senior, 5'11", 165-pound defensive back. Really nice tackle.
8-yard gain for Theodore. We mentioned in the 3rd quarter, Sweet Home was trailing 28-14. They erased the deficit. Panapino to Lee, 21 yards in the air, and Theodore with a 13-yard scamper. We've just been going ever since. 42-35, Will East. 1st and 10 at the East 30. Theodore on the carry, going up the middle, and brought down a big sandwich up front by the defensive line, and it was Andrew Vinicore leading the charge, the linebackers helping in.
And Jason Chow also on the stop, the linebacker for Will East. And Joe, you don't want this one to end. It's been so dramatic back and forth action. There's been great plays. There's been great defense at times as well, and a little bit of everything. Right now, Sweet Home knocking on the door.
Approaching the 2-minute warning in Section 6 football. The clock does not stop. 2nd and 8 at the East 28-yard line. Panthers trail by 7. Pitch to the outside. On the carry. Day on the carry. Spinning along the sideline. But then a flag is thrown at the end of the play.
Yeah, number 20, Corey Kerr, couldn't contain the outside there. Day gets a couple extra yards, and the penalty is going to bring back Sweet Home, it looks like. So that play's negated, holding on Sweet Home, so bring them back 10.
Going to be about 2nd and 15 for the Panthers. 1:53 left to play. Clock still ticking. Down to 1:45. The snap, pitch outside to Theodore. Theodore on the carry. He is stripped in the backfield. Oh, man, what a big-time stop by the Flames. It was Faison and Siaka teaming up.
Yeah, and Faison, that's a shoestring type of tackle, and if he doesn't get that tackle there, you have to wonder what Theodore is going to do. As you mentioned, there was a team effort there, but Faison really the main factor in bringing Theodore down there.
Timeout, Sweet Home. 1:26 left to play in this contest. Sweet Home after this one. Tim hits the road and will visit the Hamburg Bulldogs in Class A2. They're off to a big start. That will be on Friday, September 30th, a 7 p.m. kickoff. Then back at home October 6th to host McKinley. The Macs just keep on rolling. A big 66-22 win against North Tonawanda. And on the flip side, for the Flames, they return home to host the Kenmore West Blue Devils this upcoming Friday at 7 p.m.
Joe, we talked about that A2 conference being stacked. You got Sweet Home, Will East, McKinley, West Seneca West. Only 2 teams are going to make it out of that conference. There are the options to get a wild card out of there, but you've got a stacked Class A between, got A1 with Jamestown, Will North. It's going to be tough sledding to get to that A title this year.
3rd and 16 at the East 36-yard line. Panapinto drops back to pass on the run. Pressure by Cook from behind, but he makes the open catch. Making the big time play to Billy Cavanis. Going to the left side inside the 20. Billy Cavanis alone on an island, keeping the chains moving for Sweet Home.
Rocco Panapinto, play of the game right there. He had multiple defenders on him, showing not just the ability to have peace under pressure, but to be able to have the strength to get that ball out. That was a tremendous play by Panapinto.
Gain of 16 to the senior wideout, Billy Cavanis. 1st and 10 at the East 20-yard line. Again, the Panthers were trailing 28-14 late in the 3rd quarter. And this is where we are now. Panapinto, the snap over the middle. The pass is nearly intercepted off the hand of a defensive back for the Flames.
Yeah, that was Michael Scioli.
Man.
There were multiple Flames there. Scioli was in his hands, and there's a man down right now for Will East. I don't know if get a number on that for you. Hopefully the young man is okay, but Scioli almost with a chance to end the game right there. The good news is the player down is moving the extremities, I think. It's hard to tell what he injured, but it's great to see him getting up here, Joe. You almost wonder if he just got the wind knocked out of him, the way those players collided. Hopefully that's all it is. He does look like he's moving fine, so perhaps just the wind knocked out of him.
59 seconds left in regulation.
But that was dangerous territory. Panapinto put that one in.
And Reed Siaka was the injured player. He's been flying all over the place today for the Flames. 2nd and 10 at the East 20-yard line. Panapinto, the snap. Eyes downfield. It's just out of the reach of his receiver. 3rd down coming up at the East 20-yard line.
Yeah, that pocket was starting to collapse on Panapinto, and I really love the presence he has in the pocket. He has demonstrated great decision-making today when he's been called upon.
Hakeem Williams, the intended receiver on the play. So 3rd and 10 coming up for the Panthers at the East 20. Will East looking for their 4th straight win of the season, their 5th overall dating back to the end of last year. Panapinto, the snap, looking downfield, the pass to fight, and intercepted by the Flames. Oh man, a big time play for Mike Scioli, the Superman of the game. 50 seconds left.
Yeah, and that one looked like it might have went through the hands of Billy Cavanis, number 1. And just a tough break right there for Sweet Home, who was putting a beautiful drive together. And Williamsville East trying to pull off a homecoming disappointment here for Sweet Home with just 46 seconds left to go. This may be all but over here now, Joe.
Well, what a turnaround for head coach.
Or maybe over, I should say.
Right.
Not all but over, but over. And you can see the fans are starting to pack it up. What a game, though. And for Sweet Home, they do have their a few timeouts, I believe, here. So,
yes, a timeout, Tim, by Williamsville East. Just what a turnaround for the Flames, coming off a 1-8 season in 2021, 1-5 in the spring of 2021, 0-8 in 2019. So only 2 wins in the last 23 games and on the door looking for their 4th straight contest, which would be their longest streak to start a season. Since 2017, September 15th through October 7th of 2017, the last time the Flames opened the season 4-0. And as we mentioned, it would be a 5th straight win dating back to the 2021 finale, a 40-35 win over Niagara Wheatfield. Just what a turnaround with a lot of depth on the squad, a lot of bigger personnel on the squad for Coach Mike Turillo, Tim.
No doubt about it. Next week they take on Ken West at home on 7 o'clock on Friday night. Joe, the one for them to circle, the last game of the season, October 20th, they'll be at McKinley. So that game could have first place ramifications in A2. What a win, though. Right now it looks like a win just seconds away here from concluding the formalities. And what was a tremendous game. I'll say this about both teams. If they played each other another 5 times, I think you'd see the same type of game. These teams are that evenly matched. And Sweet Home, nothing to hang their heads about. Of course, they wanted this win for homecoming, but a couple of those mistakes on special teams, Joe, maybe that's what you would hang your head on. Other than that, they played solid ball offensively, defensively, but those mistakes on special teams, the turnovers, the difference in this game.
Well, for the Sweet Home Panthers, as we just mentioned, they now fall to 2-2 overall, 2-1 in Class A2 play. They'll face the Hamburg Bulldogs next week. Jordan Theodore, still a very solid option at RB1, wouldn't you say?
No doubt about it. I was really impressed with him. And then at the end of the game, getting the other running back, Day, involved, that was a surprise, and they've got multiple resources in the backfield.
Snap up the middle. Sweet Home able to get the stop.
So, Joe, this one maybe not over yet. Still got 40 seconds roughly here. And 3rd down. So things could get a little interesting.
Sean Sansone, as we mentioned, another 6-touchdown day performance. He mentioned it a few minutes ago. He was at 289 yards passing on the afternoon for the Flames. I imagine he crossed the 300-yard plateau. Still at 289, but a solid day. 11-23, 6 touchdowns for Williamsville East. And as you said, only 2 teams coming out of class, out of this class. So it's going to be interesting as we get closer and closer to postseason play, who is going to get in, because we still have plenty of games left.
Yeah, we have 20 teams spread out among 3 different A divisions, and 2 teams from each division are guaranteed a spot. And then I believe there's also 2 wild cards amongst the 3 divisions. So really a tough fight in this A, and what's, in my opinion, the most stacked division of all of Western New York.
Another run play, clock winding down. Approaching 30 seconds left. A reminder we want to let you know is Williamsville East starting to celebrate. Canisius well in front over St. Joe's with 5 minutes left. And then later tonight, Olean hitting the road to take on Falconer, Casa Valley, Maple Grove. But Williamsville East, under 15 seconds left, 4 straight wins to start off the 2022 campaign, doing that for the first time in 5 years. 5 straight wins if you go back to last season. Big-time victory for the Flames. Sean Sansone, 6 TD passes in the air. Once again, and Cal McCulloch, we said it, he didn't have a touchdown catch coming into today, Tim. He goes home with 2 to his name.
He scores the last 2 touchdowns for Williamsville East, and the last one, high drama and highlight reel touchdown, no question about it. And we know Sansone, we mentioned him all day, but Penapinto, how about Rocco Penapinto, the sophomore, playing solid ball, making great decisions. Of course, that last interception, a tip pass, but really doing a lot of great things for Sweet Home as well. Both these teams will be fun to watch down the stretch.
And give credit to Sweet Home, trailing 28-14 late in the 3rd quarter. And Coach Zimmer and his squad able to erase it. That has to be a big focal point heading into Hamburg next week.
No question, and they've got a couple things to clean up on the special teams. Other than that, I think they played solid overall ball. And Joe, I know our first broadcast week 1 was cut short by the Lightning, and
yeah,
it's great to be able to go the duration here with you today. We certainly were treated to a tremendous game.
Absolutely, Tim. A big win for Williamsville East, going back home forward overall, 42-35 final over Sweet Home for our entire crew. Tim Gardner, our producer, Tim Rozak, our color man, Russ and Mario on cameras. This is Joe Kraus signing off from Sweet Home High School in Amherst, New York. You've been watching Section 6 football on Western New York Athletics.
Life can be full of surprises, but not always the good kind. That's why we're committed to providing safe, quick, and cost-effective care, and we keep it simple. Just walk in. We're here for you. Learn more today.
I love being home.
There's nothing better than owning the perfect house to come home to. You've earned it, and we'll make it happen. Our local real estate experts and in-house team of financial professionals make buying or selling your home simple. Howard Hanna. Home happens here.